Welcome to the SharpStart onboarding series. Today's tutorial is about utilizing MarketSharp Mobile.
Hi everyone. In today's SharpStart, we're going to be going over MarketSharp Mobile. First, we'll go through basic data entry in the scope of the mobile application, and then we'll go over active phone calls and emails as well. First thing we're going to go over is how to get to MarketSharp Mobile. The app can be downloaded from the Google Play Store for Android devices and from the Apple App Store for iOS devices. The mobile version can also be accessed from any device that has access to an internet browser by going to marketsharpm.com/mobile like we have shown here. As far as recommendations, both versions work extremely well. I myself am going to be using the .com/mobile today, but as a general rule of thumb, the app will refresh live as it gets used by the rest of your company and anyone else logged, both whether they are using the mobile top version. Accessing from the .com/mobile will only update upon the page you are viewing being refreshed. To log in, you'll use your company ID. I'm going to be logging in as SuperUser. SuperUser is the technical support login here at MarketSharp. If you ever see SuperUser anywhere within your database, just disregard it. That's all that it's for. You'll also notice just below the password field there is a Remember Me feature here. Due to the nature of mobile devices and security protocols with MarketSharp, MarketSharp Mobile as a program will only remember company ID and username, not password. Web browsers do have the ability to store passwords for you. But if your device is lost or stolen, that person will now have access to your data and your database. So that's something to consider if opting to go that route. So I'll go ahead and put in my password and log in. Upon logging in, you will see the three things that the MarketSharp mobile application is able to access: contacts, calendar, so events within your database, as well as activities. And again, activities are the little actions that make day-to-day work, like phone calls, emails, that kind of thing. To start the data entry process, we're going to head over to the Contacts tab. Now, you are able to manually browse through contacts. There is also a search tab here if you wanted to look up a particular individual. We're adding a new contact today for demo purposes. So I'm going to go ahead and click Add Contact. First thing that MarketSharp has you do is check for duplicates. Now I am going to ask that users do this every single time, even if you already know the contact's not in here. It's just good practice, and it's going to help reduce the accidental duplicate entry. So I'll go ahead and click Check for Duplicates by Search. I'm obviously not in the database. If I had been, or if someone were to have been similar, same first name, same last name, similar first name, last name, same address, they'd be listed here in order of most likely to least likely to be the same person. If there were to be a match, you would not create a new record. Instead, you would click on the name, jump to the existing record, and add the new information there. Treat contact records like files in a filing cabinet. You wouldn't create a new file every single time someone calls your office. Instead, you check the drawer for an existing file and add documents and notes into that already existing file folder if they were in there. So in this case, I'm obviously not in here, so we'll go ahead and click Create New. You'll see everything we put in the Check for Duplicates area automatically populates on the next page. Saves you a couple of keystrokes. The next field that we have to complete is Contact Type. This is a required field, so you'll have to do this for every contact that is entered into the database. There are three different types of contacts within MarketSharp: prospects, leads, and customers. Sometimes there can be vocabulary difference here, so when you see these terms in MarketSharp, this is what MarketSharp means. Prospects are blue because they are cold marketing. They don't necessarily have a project in mind. They don't even necessarily know that you guys exist as a company. They're usually purchased on a list because they meet a particular demographic, like age, age of home, income level, location, something like that. They're purchased on a list and marketed to based on that particular demographic. Your marketing strategy doesn't necessarily include prospects. For the most part, you're not going to start there. Especially on the mobile version, you're probably going out and meeting people in the field. They have what's called an inquiry. They have a project that they're inquiring after, so that makes them a lead. They're shopping around, talking to contractors, trying to decide who they're going to go with, and you want them to pick you. That's why the color that notates a lead is red. There's a sense of urgency here with the sales process. Now, once contacts do pick you and you make a sale, the contact is then converted to a customer. Green for go, green for money. So for our scenario, we're going to go ahead and choose lead. Go ahead and fill out city, state, and zip here. Next, we have phone number. When entering a phone number or multiple phone numbers, you'll need to make sure that at least one of them is notated as primary. This is a way of communicating to other employees within the database. This is their preferred means of contact. We're only going to be entering one phone number right now. If there were multiple phone lines, you could click the Add Phone button here to add another field underneath. We'll say that this is a work phone. House DNC is if they were to tell you in-house that they prefer not to be called, they prefer other means of communication. And if they were to opt in to phone calls, you can notate them as written permission as needed. Emails are housed here with do not email as well. So I'll go ahead and click save. And this is a contact record with only contact information. No inquiry, no sales appointment, no contract, no job. Just the contact information. You'll also see the tab to the left of the contact information here, notating that it is red and a lead. This is a lead within the database. The next step is to add the inquiry, the project that they're inquiring after. So I'll go ahead and click Add Inquiry. Inquiry taken by is who took this information, who documented this initial contact. Inquiry day and time is the day and time that person takes that information. It auto-populates because it's an important date field that you're going to report on very often, because this layer of MarketSharp is the layer where your lead source information is housed. Now, lead source is how the lead heard about you, your marketing dollars in action. MarketSharp breaks it down into two separate layers, lead source primary and secondary. Primary is the broad overall term, home show, newspaper, radio. And then secondary takes it down even further. Which home show, which newspaper ad, which radio channel. Now, an employee worked this home show. We want to give them credit for having done so, and that is with these next three fields here. Canvasser for canvassing leads, telemarketer for telemarketing leads, promoter for home show and event leads. Division is not a field you'll necessarily use. Division is if you group your work in any way, that grouping is not notated anywhere else in MarketSharp and you want to report on those groupings separately as well as together. So residential or commercial work, or maybe you have multiple companies under a single corporate umbrella, or if you have service areas or districts. Again, you guys may not use division, so if you have questions on whether that field is being used or if it needs to be used, refer to a system administrator. Inquiry status communicates what stage the lead is in, whether it needs to be scheduled, it is scheduled, called and it's the wrong phone number, called and it's the wrong phone number, called and they're a mobile home so they're not applicable to that requested service. We called in, holy cow, don't call them again, they're super unhappy, don't call them anymore. This makes sure everyone's on the same page. How hot or how cold is that lead? Now for this scenario, I'm pretending that I'm in the presence of the lead and we're scheduling right now. The end result of this contact will be making an appointment. So I'll go ahead and click Set Appointment. Any notes if you would like to leave them for the inquiry in general can be left here. And now we're going to add the product interest, the product that's actually being inquired after. Just like lead source primary and secondary, we have our broad overall term. Usually the example I use is Windows. And then description takes it down even further. What type of window? A bay window. Product price listed here, this is a proposed price, but this is specifically a proposed price prior to the appointment. In the desktop version, this is also referred to as priced quoted. So this is typically seen with people who are shooting estimates out to clients upon the inquiry being taken, such as when you're canvassing, going door to door, or at a home show, maybe just mentioning a price. So that's typically where you see product price being used as far as this particular field. If there is multiple product interest, you'll add a product interest line. Let's say that the lead is also interested in an entry door. So I'll go ahead and click Save. And now we show an inquiry has been saved. So the next thing we're going to go over is how to enter an appointment on MarketSharp Mobile. So I'll go ahead and click on Inquiries and Appointments. Here, you'll see all the inquiries on the contact. In this case, there is only one, so you only see the one. But if they had inquired multiple times over the years, like with repeat customers, you would make sure to click on the most recent inquiry. Here you'll see the summary. Now if we scroll down, we'll go ahead and click Add Appointment. Up at the top, we'll see, again, contact summary as well as inquiry summary. And as we scroll down, the information to be entered for the appointment. Appointment date and time. You can just type in a date and time, or you can use the calendar module to choose a day and time. Type of appointment is why are we going on the appointment. Salesperson is who is going on the appointment. Appointment set by is who is scheduling the appointment, who is putting this appointment on the calendar. Date issued is the day that the salesperson is going to be notified of the appointment. Now, what that means to your company can vary, whether it's immediately upon scheduling, a week before the appointment, the day of the appointment. Just know that the day that you do that is the date issued. In this situation, the salesperson is scheduling their own appointment, so we're going to go ahead and have it be the same day as the set date. So that's 12/13/2018. Now, appointment result, we are going to select pending, meaning the appointment has not yet occurred and the result itself is pending. So I'll go ahead and click Save. And now the appointment is entered. So now that we've discussed how to enter an appointment, let's actually go over the calendar utility within MarketSharp Mobile. By clicking on the little house here at the top at any time, it takes you to the front page with the three icons here. And we'll go ahead and take a look at the calendar and how it works within the MarketSharp Mobile program. Within MarketSharp Mobile, you can only look at one employee's calendar at any time. They are not stacked. So you would choose the employee's calendar that you'd want to review, and then you can see it in either a day view. So Jason does not have any appointments on this day. You can zoom out to a week view, no appointments this week, or a month view. You'll see bolded days of when appointments are scheduled. So we'll see that appointment on the 28th. By clicking on it here, there's a synopsis. And then we can click on the event to jump into the appointment as well for quick navigation. So next up, we'll take a little step through time and we'll say that the appointment has occurred. The day has come. We'll say that it's now time to result the appointment. So I'll go ahead and click Edit on the appointment line. Now, MarketSharp appointment results is meant to communicate two things primarily: whether a presentation was done and whether a sale was done. Any other information is conveyed via result reason. So some examples. No demo. This means the appointment did not occur. The appointment did not happen because the lead canceled the appointment. No interest. They were a no and they were a definite no. They weren't a maybe. They weren't a, oh, I guess we're still thinking about it. They weren't a, let's send them an email next month and see how they feel. We are done with this lead and this request because they had unreasonable price expectations. Maybe they were rude and we refused to work with them. Maybe they decided to go with a competitor for the project. Demo maybe. We did a presentation and they're not a no, but they're not a yes. Still thinking about it, still working through things, still hashing out the details because they're shopping around getting other estimates. Maybe they needed to confirm with the spouse before committing to the project. And then demo sold, we don't really need a result reason because it doesn't matter, you sold it. It is critical that all appointments are resulted every time and in a timely manner because appointment result is how you determine salesperson performance. This is how MarketSharp keeps track of production and progress. Your company may have different terms used within these drop-downs. Those are typically the situations that you see accounted for within result. And just make sure that we are using result and result reason both for accurate and thorough reporting. In this case, we'll go ahead and choose demo sold. We'll say that Jason sold the appointment. No result reason really needed for sold. Doesn't matter why we sold it, just that we sold it. I'll go ahead and click save. The action of saving an appointment as sold changed the contact to a customer. You'll see that notated by the tab, which is now green as opposed to red. Now, one thing to know about MarketSharp Mobile is that the only item within a job that can be entered on mobile is the job name. And that is to make it easier for employees that are able to access the desktop version for them to locate it and finalize entering the job. In this case, I'll go ahead and do for a job name, last name, and the year. So, with that entered, I'll go ahead and click save. The rest of the information will need to be entered on the desktop version. So at this point, someone who has access to the desktop version or this employee themselves, when they are able to get to a computer or a device that is able to access the desktop version, would complete the information at that time. The last thing we're going to go over today is activities within the scope of MarketSharp Mobile. By clicking on the activities icon here, you'll see it works just like the calendar on mobile. You can view one person's assignments at a time using this drop-down here. And you can also see it in a day view, a week view, or zoom out to a month calendar view. Again, calendar view, any time of day is bolded. That means that there is an assignment on that day. Back to the week view. Let's go ahead and complete one of these activities. I'll click on the activity itself. We'll choose Harold here. And then choose Edit. Here, we can result it accordingly based on how the call, in this case an attempt to schedule an installation, ended. Let's say that we called Harold here and we ended up leaving a message. So I'll go ahead and result that accordingly and click Save. Now we don't want to leave it at that. We want to give Harold another call at a later date. To do that, we're going to go back to the contact by clicking on the Contact Info tab here. Choose Activities, and then we'll click Add to create a brand new activity. So we'll say, instead of calling, we'll call him on Monday. And we'll do in the afternoon this time. And then click Save. And that is how we create an activity in MarketSharp Mobile as well. So that concludes the MarketSharp Mobile SharpStart. We hope you enjoy it and that it helps with efficiency and effectiveness while in the field. Thanks so much for your time.
For additional assistance, please reach us by phone, email, or online. Thank you again for your time.